Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra. Quick, no BS, hands-on, no fluff, only the upgrades you'll feel, so keep your money unless it earns it. I'm in the Samsung store, tethered like museum artifacts, no BS store review, no fluff, just what matters in real life. If there's one legit reason to upgrade, you're seeing it on camera in 5 seconds. From the side, this screen turns into none of your business. This is privacy display. It's built into the panel, not a privacy screen protector. Those protectors make your screen look frosted 24/7. This lets you keep the normal screen and flip privacy only when you actually need it. And it's not just on or off. There are levels. Crank it up and it's basically only the person dead center can read it. The useful part is the rules. You can set privacy per app, only on per password, or only on notification pop-ups. So your phone stops yelling your personal information to the next person beside you in a flight. Now it's not free. With privacy on, you can lose brightness because the screen is restrictive side visibility, and in some modes it can disable extra brightness. So it's a trade, peak brightness versus privacy. Before you pre-order, let's check out deals. Samsung pricing is never the price, it's the price after the scavenging hunt. I check Samsung online, I check Samsung app if there's an only app bonus, and I also ask the store. Then I screenshot the store, I look for stacking, storage promo codes, trade-in deals, and accessories bundles. That's where the real savings happen.
It's expensive.
Now the real life spec talk. Chip Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 for Galaxy. Samsung is claiming roughly a 20% jump. In real life, that's faster in camera processing, smoothing multitasking, and less stutter when you're doing creative chaos, like filming 4K, switching lenses, and jumping right into editing and loading. Not magic, just less waiting. RAM and storage. 12 GB of RAM in base, and it can go up to 16 GB if you buy the 1 TB model. More RAM means fewer app reloads, rebounds between cameras, Lightroom, WhatsApp, YouTube Studio, and Chrome. More storage means your store doesn't turn into a low storage hostage situation after one trip. Now the other thing people keep missing, the S Pen is still here, but Bluetooth is still not back. So no air actions, no remote shutter plays, no pretending you're doing a PowerPoint presentation like in 2009. You still get the pen for notes and edits, but the cross the room tricks and gimmicks are gone. Design. On paper, it's slimmer at 7.9mm, about 214 grams, and Samsung switched from titanium back to aluminum. Why it matters? Because of heat and weight. Aluminum shaves grams and it could move heat way faster. It sustains performance way better. The corners are still softer, so it feels less like a brick with a PhD. Battery still 5000 milliamp hours. Samsung treats 5000 like a family heirloom. The good news is that charging finally moved up to 60 watt on the Ultra, so you don't have to be on a charging anxiety. Wireless is faster too, but Samsung still doesn't bake magnets into the phone, so snap-on charging and car mounts still mean a magnetic case. Without magnets, you do the little wireless charging alignment dance like you're trying to summon Wi-Fi. 10-bit means more stacks between colors, so gradients look smoother, skies and shadows look less like a staircase. Samsung also runs pro-scale sharpening to make details pop without you touching anything. By the way, if you like this type of content, hit like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot and it makes it look less like I'm talking to myself in a room full of gadgets. Now cameras. Ignore the megapixel hypnosis. What matters in real life is motion blur, low light, autofocus, and the zoom you actually use. The practical upgrade is brighter glass on the main camera and the 5x. When the lens lets in more light, the phone doesn't need to crank ISO as hard, and it doesn't need to drag the shutter as long. Next test, autofocus. Put your hand closer to the lens and pull it away and force it to grab the background. The flagship should snap focus without hunting like it's confused. Now zoom. This is where Ultra phones either feel premium or feel like a scam. 5x is the money zoom. It's the one you will actually use for portrait signage, stage shots, and travel stuff. 30x is for reading signs and being nosy. It's fine and useful sometimes, but don't pretend you're filming National Geographic with it. The ultra wide matters too. Shoot something with straight lines like shelves or display tables. If the edges look like a banana, that's distortion. If it stays clean, that's a win. Video creators. Stabilization got smarter with the horizon locks. Turn it on, then rotate your wrist like turning a doorknob. If the horizon stays calmer, that's a legit upgrade for handheld video, especially when you're filming one-handed like a maniac. Also check the pro video settings. If you shoot a lot, this is where Samsung hides the real creator upgrades. Formats, stabilization options, higher quality recording modes, and all that nerdy stuff that actually makes your footage easier to edit later. Now, quick reality check on performance. That 20% chip jump isn't about bragging rights. It's about the phone staying smooth when you stack real world into movements, like filming 4K, switching lenses, uploading, then editing thumbnail, answering 20 DMs, and the phone still not turning into a pocket toaster. That's the goal over here. AI stuff, only the useful kind. The search button that jumps you straight to settings is actually practical. Screenshot auto-organizing is secretly one of the best qualities of life upgrades because you can find things later without scrolling like a caveman. Audio cleanup on videos you're watching can be clutch. And prompt style photo edits are fun when they don't make your image look like it was generated by a sleepy robot. Alright, 3 loves, 3 annoyances, and buy, skip, or wait. Loves. Privacy display is genuinely new and per app notification rules are actually smart. 2. Brighter main and 5x lens plus better stabilization wins the camera upgrade that shows up in real life. 3. 60 watt charging on the Ultra. Finally, annoyances. 1. Battery still 5000. Samsung treats 5000 like it's a family heirloom. 2. Still no built-in magnets. Stop making us buy cases just to charge it properly. 3. No Bluetooth S Pen again. If you use Air Actions, that feature's still gone. Alright, verdict time. Because buying phones on excitement is how you end up eating instant noodles for a month.
I declare bankruptcy!
First, not every S26 is the same everywhere. The Ultra is the safe one. The regular S26 and S26 Plus can vary region by region. So if you see one person saying battery is insane and another person saying battery is mid, you might be watching 2 different phones wearing the same name tag. Second, storage and RAM. This is the boring part that ruins your life later. 256 feels huge on day 1. Then you shoot 4K, download Netflix, keep 9,000 screenshots, and your phone goes, congrats, now delete all your childhood. More RAM just means less app reloading when you jump between camera, messages, maps, and whatever else you pretend is work. If you keep phones for years, this matters more than one extra camera feature. Third, privacy display. Don't turn it on for everything. That's how you end up staring dead center at your phone all day like it's an eye exam. Set it only for banking, password stuff, and notification pop-ups. That way, it protects the stuff that actually matters without making the phone annoying to use. Fourth, charging. 60 watts only counts if you actually use the right charger and the cable. If you plug into some ancient brick, you're not getting 60 watts, you're getting hopes and prayers. The real benefit is quick top-ups before you leave. 10 minutes on the charger should actually change your day, not just your mood. So here's the simple answer. If you're on S22 or S23 Ultra, buy. You'll feel it immediately. If you're on S24 Ultra, wait for real testing, especially camera and battery. If you're on S25 Ultra, only upgraded privacy display solves a real problem for you, or your trading deal is stupid good. Otherwise, keep your money and let Samsung fight harder next year. If you ever caught someone reading your screen in public, hit like. If you are the guy who's reading the screen, seek help.
Stop it. Get some help.
Alright guys, thanks for watching it. This is Nas from Built for Tech and I'll see you guys on the next one.